優雅我が敵を食らう
You should have gone for the head.
If there's one thing that all gamers can agree on, it's that Epic Game Store bad.
And Half-Life 3 never coming.
And Geraldo good.
And Geraldo good.
So these are the basic tenets of what it means to be a PC gamer. Sadly, the Epic Game Store is not going anywhere. It's actually kicking ass right now, and that's the reality.
Surprisingly,
right?
really.
We have been on the record as being like, we were at first very optimistic about the Epic Game Store because we're like, competition is good, get to, give Steam a good kick up the ass, get them moving, pro developer. But their tactics have been very much about building an exclusive library and forcing people to use their platform. People have really pushed back on that. And it seems as though that pushback has had no effect whatsoever because the Epic Game Store is really crushing it right now. They've had some huge announcements today to show how much momentum they got going. And it looks like at this point, gamers kind of just have to get used to the Epic Game Store because it's not going anywhere.
It's going to be the console wars all over. Console
and
wars.
Drop.
Okay, so everyone kind of is up to date with what's going on, right? But let's just do if we can do this in 15 seconds, that would be great. Can we do this in 15? I've done other things.
Sam,
I knew this joke was coming.
How many times have you heard that,
Sam? I knew this joke was coming, okay? It's usually 7 hours, people, alright?
What?
I don't know. Okay.
You get a rash.
So here we go, okay.
でもそんなんじゃダメもうそんなんじゃほら心は進化するよもっともっと
So, okay, Epic Game Store comes out of nowhere. Hey, we're getting a launcher, a platform. We're going to be putting games on there. Everyone's like, wow, that's pretty cool. Really pro developer, a good revenue split. It all looked really good. Out of nowhere, hey, by the way, everything's going to be fucking exclusive that we can grab, right? It becomes less and less pro consumer when we look at the features and we look at the fact that, it's dividing communities, dividing friend lists, all this kind of stuff. Biggest game that was first snatched was Metro, okay? Everything else was like small titles, then Metro was snatched and that became an exclusive, and that's when the shit really hit the fan, and now it looks like even more exclusives are coming.
Yeah, so at GDC today, the Epic Game Store had a whole bunch of announcements about new upcoming exclusive games. The biggest prize that they announced was a game called The Outer Worlds. Now, most of you might have heard of The Outer Worlds. It was that game that basically came out and was like, hey guys, we're from the makers of Fallout.
That's right.
But we're not Fallout, Did we mention we're made from the makers of Fallout, but we're not Fallout,
I think it was at the Game Awards that they showed that, right?
I think it was actually,
Yeah,
So everyone was like,
yeah.
yeah, fuck you, Bethesda, man.
Yeah.
We love you, Obsidian.
It was perfect timing too, because
It was.
the meme was still ripe.
That really became quite a darling in the gaming community because it was actually, there's no microtransactions in that game. It's a single player game only. They've said it's going to be around sort of 30 to 40 hours to finish, so it's not trying to be like an endless live service game. It's like a contained experience.
Thank God, one game that's not a live service.
Yep, and it's an Obsidian game, which means that it's going to be quality because these guys make top tier stuff. So it was a real sort of, darling, especially in the PC community. But then this announcement that it's going to be an Epic Games Store exclusive is kind of just like, you were the chosen one, It's kind of like this ultimate betrayal, and everyone's really upset.
Yeah, I think everyone, there was so much hype, so much positive. Can't wait for this game. It looked interesting, it looked fresh, but it's a shame. It's a shame because for me, when I looked at that, you're right. Like, it's one of those games that feels like everyone should be able to buy it wherever, you know? It doesn't feel like it's an exclusive for a certain platform.
Correct.
Know?
So it's a big blow to Steam and to the sort of PC game community.
Oh, it's going to be on the Microsoft Store too.
It is also on the Microsoft Store as well, because everyone buys their games from the Microsoft Store on PC, obviously.
Definitely.
That's the number one place to purchase.
I think I've watched Sea of Thieves on there when we played it. Oh, God.
That's right. Trying to figure out how to buy games on the Windows
code
is actually the real game of the Windows Store. So there's that. On top of that, also Control, the new game from Remedy, is going to be exclusive to the Epic Games Store on PC. There's also the Quantic Dream title, stuff like Detroit Become Human is coming to PC as an Epic Games Store exclusive.
And that's a really fantastic game. I mean, I don't know if it'll sell extremely well on the Epic Games Store, but like it's just good content to have on there, you know.
So that's a huge slew of announcements that really shows there's no slowing down when it comes to the sort of exclusives that Epic Games are gobbling up. And it looks like
they're speeding up, man.
Yeah,
it looks like they're fucking speeding up.
The landscape is it looks like the landscape is permanently changing because Borderlands 3 as well is heavily rumored to be an Epic Games Store exclusive. In fact, the sort of head of publishing for the Epic Games Store just retweeted Randy Pitchford's sort of like hype announcement for Borderlands 3. Now, you could look at that in a number of ways, but certainly a lot of people are looking at it as like, hey, maybe they're going to be exclusive. There's already a lot of rumors around that.
Yeah, and Randy's comments, of course, it just looks like it's all pointing to that direction. Especially if he's going to be like, retweeting a tweet like that when the announcement's coming out, like, what, a week or two now or whatever? Yeah. It's like, it feels very similar. It feels very close to like,
it does.
It's all going to be happening.
So, consumers have been trying to push back against the Epic Games Store in a variety of ways. One of them has been just like, don't buy it at all.
The boycott.
Another one has been pirate it, and piracy has actually seen a rise with sort of Metro Exodus, for example, because people are really feel strongly about this and they don't want to give their money to the Epic Games Store. But it looks as though all of those efforts have also been completely in vain as well, because at GDC, they announced that basically the Metro Exodus sold 2.5 times as many copies as Metro Last Light did in their launch windows. Okay, so that's just that period around launch where they're comparing sales on Steam for the previous game versus Epic Games Store sales for this game. 2.5 times as many. Now, there's a lot of mitigating factors with that.
Definitely. I was just, as you said off camera before, there is a lot of things that really come up there. It's hard, as Ralph said, okay, but this is my thought, okay, everybody. It's like comparing The Witcher 1 with sales with The Witcher 3.
Yes, okay. That is your thought, Sam.
God, that's a damn good thought, everybody. Exactly, but it's very true. It's an established IP now. It's hard to really see those figures and go, do they match up in any way, and can you actually rely on them?
Correct. But at the same time, it also shows that it was a successful product launch.
Sure.
Now, would it have sold 5 times as many if it was on Steam? Maybe. We don't know.
But I don't think that matters. I'll tell you why. Because the revenue split was better on Epic. They also got some sort of monetary
cash. Yeah,
exactly. So it sounds like regardless if it's sold a little bit less, dude, they've definitely made a good business decision here.
Correct. So I think that at the end of the day, all of this shows that the Epic Games Store is not going anywhere, and I do feel as though people really pushed back on it. And they really wanted to sort of like voice their concerns, vote with their wallet, whatever else. But Tim Sweeney was recently interviewed, and he said something along the lines. Actually, I'll read the quote to you. Okay, this is what he said about how he is going to win this battle and really sort of like ensconce the Epic Games Store. On storefronts, he says it's nearly perfect for consumers already. There's no hope of displacing a dominant storefront solely by adding marginally more store features or a marginally better install experience. These battles will be won on the basis of game supply, consumer prices, and developer revenue sharing. So what he's saying there is that, like, my storefront kind of sucks. I know that. I don't have all the features that Steam has. But I'm not going to win this battle by, adding a community tab and workshop and all that sort of shit. He thinks he's going to win this battle by scoring exclusives. And looking at the results of Metro Exodus, looking at the way publishers are responding to him. By the way, Ubisoft have also renewed their agreement with the Epic Games Store, so you can expect more exclusives from Ubisoft on the Epic Games Store. It seems as though Tim Sweeney has the right read on how he is going to be successful.
I think a lot of people would have loved the idea of it was all about the features, and they wanted Epic Games Store to kind of drop all this exclusive crap, you know. But it's sadly looking like it is working, and it is the strategy that's going to be putting them kind of toe to toe with Steam.
And just to be clear, as I said, you know, we're fans of competition. Competition's a good thing, and I think it would be great if the Epic Games Store could be successful, but not at the cost of sort of dividing the PC community and sort of forcing this entirely new ecosystem through, like, without giving players the choice with regards to where they want to play, you know?
Yeah,
we understand the business imperatives. Tim Sweeney's a smart dude. He knows what he's doing on that front. But it seems as though this is just... It seems like they're creating a very bad brand for themselves, and it didn't need to be this way, you know?
Yeah, I think that we still stand by what we said in terms of, you know, we don't think that exclusives on PC are a way to go for the future of gaming. I mean, I still think that's detrimental to the gaming community in general, but at the same time... like if they are wanting results, I can see why they're doing this. And
it's business, man. It's capitalism, man.
It's capitalism, man.
It's the machine. Sometimes it gets so odious, so it makes you so sick. You know that quote?
Can we just turn the camera off now?
Let's just turn it off. Okay, that's the end of the episode. Bye, guys.
That's it.
It's cool, just cool, and into the mouth. Nice. And my brother, he's doing the same. It's cool, just cool, into the mouth. Nice. There's my mum, she's doing the same. It's cool.